Well, we now know that after months of pleading with Congress and the White House, the case of Pastor Saeed Abedini was indeed discussed in the historic phone call that took place between President Obama and the leader of Iran. Now, the family of the American pastor who is locked up over his Christian faith in Iran says that this is by far the most encouraging news that they have heard. Naghmeh Abedini is Pastor Abedini's wife. Jordan Sekulow is with the American Center for Law and Justice and is representing the Abedinis in this case. Welcome back to America's Newsroom to both of you once again. And it is nice to have you on a day when there actually has been this development that you've wanted so much. Naghmeh, what's your understanding of what the president and the leader of Iran actually talked about with regard to your husband?
Well, thank you, Martha, for having us. My understanding was that Saeed's case was brought up and how important it is for the American people to see him released. And it's been the most encouraging news and what I've worked for all year in trying to see. And I'm very hopeful about his release.
What was the last time that you've had any communication with your husband, Naghmeh?
The last time the Iranian government allowed any contacts was, I believe, January 9th of earlier this year.
And what have you heard about his condition lately?
You know, his family visits him every Monday, so they just had a visit. I just had a talk with his father, and they visited him, and he was doing well, and he was hopeful. He'd heard about the news, and he was hopeful that he would be out soon.
Boy, I bet they are. Jordan, what can you tell us about the nature of what the president said? What do we know about how strong the president was on this issue?
Very strong. I mean, Martha, we have not been, we've been critical over the last 9 months that we've been public with this story on Fox News. And let me first I don't think we'd be here today talking about this positive development without Fox News, because you guys have been here with us throughout the whole process. There are some now the media is finally starting to cover because the president has engaged. But we wouldn't have 600,000 people on a petition, 135,000 letters going to the president. And people wouldn't have been updated throughout the good and bad without Fox News. So we now know for the first time, Martha, things are coming together. We're working with the State Department. We're working with the White House. The president picked the perfect opportunity to speak out. But, it took senators like Lindsey Graham writing a letter last week. It took Ted Cruz kneeling in prayer at the White House, which he did after that 21-hour speech. It took a lot of work, and we're not done yet, and that's the key.
Let's take a look at the letter that Lindsey Graham wrote. And of course, we're interested in this story at Fox News because when there's an American citizen being held in a country like Iran, based on his faith, I think it's something that everybody should be interested in. And here's Lindsey Graham's strong statement on this. I was disappointed that you failed to use the United Nations General Assembly's opening session this week to press the case of Pastor Abedini. Not only does the extremist Iranian government need to hear your voice on behalf of the pastor, but also do tyrants around the world who would persecute individuals for their practice of Christianity. And we have seen that just continuing to grow as a worldwide problem here. Naghmeh, I know, I would imagine that you feel very much that this is obviously, it's not over till it's over. There's a lot of hurdles still to come.
Exactly. It's not over till he's on American soil.
Jordan, any hope of any sort of timeline or what you think you should expect next?
I never want to set timelines when dealing with Iran, but I will say this, which is fairly bold. These next 2 weeks, very critical. A very critical next 2 weeks. So for everyone who has worked so hard to get the president's attention, let's make sure we build on that we've passed the 1-year mark and we accomplished that goal of finally getting our top leader in his first phone call ever with the president of Iran since the revolution to bring up Saeed Abedini. We got there. This is a very critical 2 weeks. So that's the kind of time frame we're looking at right now. Though we're planning, Martha, if we've got trips to Europe in October with the European Parliament, trips to Brazil in November. So we're planning long-term as well. We're lawyers. We're planning for everything.
And nobody would be happier than those 2 little children that we see in the pictures of your family.
Exactly.
So please keep us posted over the next couple of weeks if you hear anything. Naghmeh, thank you for your courage in all of this, and Jordan, for your persistence. Good to see you both again.
Thank you,
We'll
Martha.
see you soon.